All right. Let's see how this works here. Hey. Hello, everybody. My name's Tom Stoukas, and I'm coming to you live from Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, right on the border with the USA as the trade war begins. As Yoda would say, begun, the tariff wars have. So it's funny watching. For people that don't follow the news, they'll be going about their Saturday night, no problem. But for people watching the news or the people on the news, look at the look on their faces. It's like a 9/11 here for the Canadian establishment. The 9/11 of the Canadian establishment. It's not hilarious because we're gonna get the ass end of it as usual. They're gonna be like Evan Solomon there. I see on the screens there in New York. He's got a nice suit on. He's got the fireplace in the background. He'll be all right. And it's just crazy. That escalated quickly, like Ron Burgundy would say. Like we went from making fun of Trudeau to basically a trade war erupting. And I've seen trade disputes in the past. This is nasty compared to the past. You know, in the past, there was some disputes. They got a little personal sometimes. But they were resolved. This is, Trump's being very provocative. And our leadership is, they've been incompetent for years. I've been calling them out for years. So I'm not going to be on this Team Canada of theirs all of a sudden. That doesn't make me a traitor or anybody else a traitor. It means you can support your country and not support the dummies that have been running it for the last 10 years, both at the provincial and the federal level. So they're all in panic mode tonight. It's kind of funny to watch, but it's not funny. But it's the Canadian establishment. 9/11. Because, it's like Donald Trump's calling them out. I don't think he would have the authority or the guts to do it if he didn't think Canada's run by a totally incompetent, compromised set of establishment elites. And that's what I see happening. I could be totally wrong, but I've said before, he's got way more information at his disposal than I do, or a lot of us do. So who knows what kind of crazy stuff he's seen. I know the Canadian government's incompetent, like, at many levels, unfortunately. Yeah. It's the provincial government is not much better. A lot of corrupt, we could talk all night about it. But he must be very disgusted with their performance for him to be treating the country like this. And now we're getting whipped up to fight the U.S. And basically the political target now is Donald Trump for any Canadian politician. Forget all of their failures and their misdeeds. This is blame Trump for everything. I've seen it with Doug Ford, the provincial election campaign, with the Liberal leadership campaign, and with Trudeau, who's basically a lame duck. He's speaking tonight. He's supposed to speak at 6, and it's 9 now. I don't know what's going on there. That's hilarious. He's going to announce a tariff response. And the news is all right. Let's just go to some things until he speaks. I don't know what he's going to say. They all look at this. They look like Look how sad they look, all of them. Vassy doesn't look sad, but who knows? Who knows what's really going on? All right, we got whatever. We'll just go through this. So this was obviously the big story because today's February 1st, and now there's more specifics on this tariff business. They flash these headlines. It's 25% tariffs coming in on Tuesday. I don't know why Tuesday. If Canada retaliates, tariffs will increase, and basically Trudeau's going to get on TV and retaliates. And Doug Ford's already said, I don't know, and our retaliation's like nothing. We might as well not even retaliate and just let them, if they want to put tariffs on their citizens to get our products, say, oh well. But what's the use of retaliating? Just to piss them off? I don't know. I'm not a trade guy. I'm not a trade negotiator, but it's a fight we can't win. Unfortunately. We put ourselves in this position. We can get ourselves out maybe someday. Trudeau to address the nation. Address the nation. 9/11. North American auto industry could shut down within a week. Trump likely to declare national emergency to pass tariffs immediately. Like, this is crazy. This is uncharted territory and the economic damage is unknown. It is uncharted territory, but I wouldn't panic if I were anybody. Oil tariffs at 10%. All right. And then this is the guy, Bruce Arthur. If you're not on Team Canada right now, sit down and be quiet. I can't stand this guy. He was on team COVID commie. Now he wants to be on Team Canada. Bruce Arthur. Toronto Star. And I think this one's a good post. He's been on fire lately, this guy. I believe Justin Trudeau and Team WEF did everything they could to escalate tensions between Canada and the U.S. just to start an economic war so people like Jagmeet Singh and Mark Carney can team up and offer Canadians pandemic-style relief in the form of UBI. It sounds like they want to do it. They're just itching to do it. Let's give billions and billions. I'm trying to find something. Look at all this stuff. Oh my gosh. This one's a good one. There's no Team Canada. There's only Team WEF. Yeah. I like how they're saying Team Canada. You gotta get on Team Canada. When they put us with when they made, I remember going to Toronto and I couldn't even take my kids out to eat because of their vaccine discrimination. And I didn't see nobody saying anything about Team Canada then, or Team Ontario or anything. So I'm for Canada, but I'm not with these guys, that's for sure. Like Bruce Arthur and whoever else, Doug Ford and Trudeau, and not with them at all. Doesn't mean I'm not Team Canada. They can't claim that shit. Some of these nice progressives claim everything is on the table in a looming trade war except recalling Parliament during a national crisis. Yeah, no Parliament. What the hell, man? This is embarrassing. Parliament's supposed to be like the house, like the house of the land. For it to be shut right now, it's like having the fire hall shut for renovations. Or I don't know. Holy shit. It's criminal, really. It's criminal. Or an election. Either Parliament's open and they're in there and they're debating what the response should be and how maybe we can get out of this. Or have an election. But what are we doing now? Oh my God! Why not have parliament? Because then we'll have an election. It's ridiculous. Venezuela. All right. Ian Bremmer from Eurasia Group, which has gotten lots of government contracts in Canada here. I've never seen Canadians, politically left, right, or center, so angry with the United States as right now. Many Americans don't care or know why it matters, but long-term the United States benefits greatly from deep, trusted international relationship, and none have been closer than U.S. and Canada. So he's never seen him so angry. All right. He's probably not going to get no more contracts. That's probably why he's worried. This is true. A lot of people feel this. I feel this way. For 10 years, we're told, oh, your opinion doesn't matter. And now it's like we're supposed to like team up with these guys. February 1st, and Canada chooses to engage in a trade war. It can never win to defend mass immigration, which is population replacement with low IQ third worlders, and to champion fentanyl labs and the deaths and carnage they produce. Don't forget the only laundering and kickbacks from both for our political class and civil citizens who want to pay any price in this trade war, but you will. No, wait. So basically he's saying, yeah, we're going to pay the price. They're tough talk. I saw this video today. Still human smugglers advertising on Instagram how to get from Montreal to the U.S. It's still happening. Yeah, I wonder, there's a certain demographic there. The Uber, border Ubers. I'm sure there are a border Uber here. You need to ride across the border here. All right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Let's watch what he's going to say.
Percent on Canadian energy. A decision that, should they elect to proceed with, should take effect on Tuesday, February 4th. Cette décision met en péril une relation économique historique.
God.
Une relation qui a été la source de tellement de richesse, de prospérité et de possibilités des deux côtés de la frontière. Tonight, first, I want to speak directly to Americans, our closest friends and neighbors. This is a choice that, yes, will harm Canadians, but beyond that, it will have real consequences for you, the American people. As I have consistently said, tariffs against Canada will put your jobs at risk, potentially shutting down American auto assembly plants and other manufacturing facilities. They will raise costs for you, including food at the grocery store and gas at the pump.
I want to see what his if he's going to retaliate right now or just going to wait.
Vital goods crucial for U.S. security, such as nickel, potash, uranium, steel, and aluminum. They will violate the free trade agreement that the President and I, along with our Mexican partner, negotiated and signed a few years ago. But it doesn't have to be this way. As President John F. Kennedy said many years ago, geography has made us neighbors, history has made us friends, economics has made us partners, and necessity has made us allies. That rang true for many decades prior to President Kennedy's time in office, and in the decades since. From the beaches of Normandy to the mountains of the Korean Peninsula, from the fields of Flanders to the streets of Kandahar, we have fought and died alongside you. During your darkest hours, during the Iranian hostage crisis, those 444 days we worked around the clock from our embassy to get your innocent compatriots home. During the summer of 2005, when Hurricane Katrina ravaged your great city of New Orleans. God. Or mere weeks ago, when we sent water bombers to tackle the wildfires in California. During the day the world stood still, September 11th, 2001, when we provided refuge to stranded passengers and planes, we were always there, standing with you, grieving with you, the American people. Together, we've built the most successful economic, military, and security partnership the world has ever seen. A relationship that has been the envy of the world. Yes, we've had our differences in the past, but we've always found a way to get past them. As I've said before, if President Trump wants to usher in a new golden age for the United States, the better path is to partner with Canada, not to punish us.
Yeah, he doesn't want to partner with you. Why are you still here?
Reliable and affordable energy, stable democratic institutions.
Oh God, he's so oblivious, man.
And the natural
why are you talking?
Canada has the ingredients necessary to build a booming and secure partnership for the North American economy, and we stand at the ready to work together. Let's take a moment to talk about our shared border.
You turned Canada into a globalist hellhole.
Safe and secure, but there's always more work to do. Less than 1% of fentanyl, less than 1% of illegal crossings into the United States come from Canada. But hearing concerns from both Canadians and Americans, including the American president himself, we're taking action. We launched a $1.3 billion border plan that is already showing results. Because we too are devastated by the scourge that is fentanyl. A drug that has torn apart communities and caused so much pain and torment for countless families across Canada, just like in the United States. A drug that we too want to see wiped from the face of this earth. A drug whose traffickers must be punished. As neighbors, we must work collaboratively to fix this. Unfortunately, the actions taken today by the White House
all right, here we go.
split us apart instead of bringing us together. Tonight, I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
Holy shit. So, Trump said if we retaliate, the tariffs for us will go up. So basically, it's crazy. Like, it's like, who's going to back down? But I don't know. I don't think we should have dug this hole. You can't dig a hole. You shouldn't dig a hole you can't get out of. Unfortunately. Oh, this guy's done a lot of damage for 10 years, man. A lot of damage.
Far-reaching and include everyday items such as American beer, wine.
Oh, that'll get them.
Fruits and fruit juices, including orange juice, along with vegetables, perfume, clothing, and shoes.
They're quaking in their boots.
Products like household appliances, furniture, and sports equipment, and materials like lumber and plastics, along with much, much more. And as part of our response, we are
CNN, are they watching Trudeau? No, they don't give a shit. Fox, do they care about Trudeau? No. Nobody gives a shit. Okay, CNBC. No, I don't even have CNBC on my favorite. So basically, the American networks couldn't care less if Trudeau's.
Strong to ensure our countries continue to be the best neighbors in the world. With all that said, I also want to speak directly to Canadians in this moment.
Reassure us,
I'm
please.
sure many of you are anxious.
I'm so
But I
anxious.
want you to know we are all in this together.
Where have I heard that before?
Canadian businesses, Canadian organized labor, Canadian civil society, Canada's pioneers, and tens of millions of Canadians from coast to coast.
I feel like deja vu. I feel like this is like a COVID.
United.
Oh my God.
This is Team Canada.
Oh
at its
God.
best.
I feel like this is like a COVID press conference. That's how similar they sound. We're all in this together, team. We're not all in this together. This guy is not going to be affected by the tariffs. He's going to be surfing in BC. He might have to pay a little more for his surfing wax. That's it.
To make it easier for consumers to choose made-at-home products.
Je me suis entretenu avec Madame
A few
Chambon,
minutes ago,
la présidente
I
du
spoke
Mexique,
with the president of Mexico,
partenaire nord-américain,
our other North American partner,
et la
who
cible du
also
tarif douanier. Aujourd'hui,
was targeted
on
by
s'est
tariffs
engagé à
today.
travailler ensemble.
We committed to work together to face them down.
Il s'agit d'une menace qui vise
This is a
l'ensemble
threat
Ça me fait chaud au
targets
cœur
the
de voir
entire
autant de nos
country.
leaders répondre
It warmed my heart to
See,
see so many leaders.
He could tear up the auto trade agreement between Ontario and the States if he really wants to go nuclear. Basically, all these supply plants and factories in Ontario would have nobody to sell. It'd be crazy. I don't think it would get down to that. If it gets that, then things are.
I ask you to be there for each other, for your friends, your neighbors, and other Canadians. From coast to coast to coast,
Look how
Canadians
this guy's destroyed Canada, and he's just sitting up there like, oh my God.
different faiths, different opinions, different ideas.
on reste unis
And
Why doesn't he just go?
dans cette différence.
find our strength in these
Now is
differences.
also the time to choose Canada. There are many ways for you to do your part. It might mean checking the labels at the supermarket and picking Canadian-made products. It might mean opting for Canadian rye over Kentucky bourbon, or foregoing
God.
Florida orange juice altogether. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and
Oh,
tourist
God.
destinations our great country has to offer. C'est le temps de choisir des produits d'ici.
It's time to
Il
choose
appuie
products
des entreprises
from here and support
Yeah, we're screwed.
from here.
agricoles,
To support our farmers, our manufacturers, our workers, our entrepreneurs and
It
artists.
might mean doing all of these things or finding your own way to stand up for Canada. In this moment, we must pull together because we love this country. We pride ourselves.
You destroyed
on
this country, man.
cold during the long winter months. We don't like to beat our chests, but we're always out there, waving the maple leaf loudly and proudly to celebrate an Olympic gold medal. On a notre propre identité,
Oh my
We have
God.
our own identity,
histoire,
our own history,
propre valeur.
and our own
Les
values.
Canadiens sont
This guy's got to go.
Canadians are welcoming, open,
ambitieux.
innovative,
On
ambitious.
préfère régler nos disputes
We
avec
prefer
diplomatie.
settling our issues
On
with
est prêt à se
diplomacy,
battre quand c'est
but we're
nécessaire.
ready to fight.
One thing's for sure, it's gonna be. I don't know what's gonna happen. Only 1 month into the year, man.
Proud people who've come from every corner of the globe to forge a nation with a
Literally,
unique identity worth
news is breaking like
embracing
every
and
day. It's
celebrating.
crazy, but it's good though. It's interesting.
We don't pretend to be perfect, but Canada is the best country on earth. There's nowhere else that I and our 41 million strong family would rather be. And we will get through this challenge just as we've done countless times before.
Okay.
Vive le Canada.
Thank God he stopped talking.
All right, so we'll take 20 minutes of questions, 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Holy shit.
One question, one follow-up, une question, un suivi. Merci.
Bonsoir, Monsieur le Premier ministre Raymond Fillon de TVA. Est-ce que vous avez parlé ou tenté de parler avec le président Trump aujourd'hui, dans les derniers jours?
Ça fait depuis l'inauguration que j'essaie de rejoindre le
I've been
président.
trying to
J'espère
reach
pouvoir lui
the
parler.
president since the inauguration. I hope to be able to speak with him soon.
Oh, he won't take his phone calls.
I've been reaching out to speak with Donald Trump. I hope to speak with him sometime soon.
Dans son décret qu'il a signé aujourd'hui,
In
M.
the
Trump
decree
menace
he signed
le
today,
Canada
Mr.
d'augmenter
Trump
encore plus
threatens
les tarifs
Canada
s'il y a des
with
mesures de
even
rétorsion.
further
Vous annoncez des
increases
mesures de
in
rétorsion sur
tariffs.
quoi?
If there's retaliation, you mentioned retaliation.
Okay.
Isn't this risky? Won't that make the situation worse?
On va toujours faire ce qui est nécessaire.
We'll always be listening to protect Canadians and our interests. We are responding with a set of measures that's strong but appropriate. And we'll continue to be there to defend Canada, Canadians, and our future.
Bonsoir, M. Trudeau. Vous avez mentionné que
You
vous
mentioned
envisagiez
that you were considering
mesures qui sont pas
other measures.
It's like he wants to destroy the country.
Could you
C'est
elaborate?
sûr qu'on a
Look at this smiling.
beaucoup d'initiatives
There are many initiatives
qu'on peut entreprendre.
beyond tariffs that we could undertake as a country. We're talking with the provinces and
Certains
territories
éléments dans
about certain
leur
things in
la région, leur juridiction.
regions and jurisdictions, and we also have measures like what the provinces are announcing to remove American liquor and wine
Régie des alcools.
from their liquor.
What are they doing this in French so the Americans don't know what he's saying?
Municipal, provincial, federal supplies, where we don't need
French only. Questions.
choice of Canadians
D'acheter des produits canadiens, de
to buy
choisir
Canadian products,
des biens
and
et
to
services
choose
du
goods
Canada.
and services that are made in Canada and not America. It's all part of our collective response.
question peut-être de
But just
d'approvisionnement en
Would
énergie.
you cut
Mais,
energy
la
supply?
deuxième question, c'était
But the second question was
sur le
the
décret
event.
I can't keep track of this.
américain. Il n'est pas question là-dedans, il est question de
The
la
American
mais pas de la
decree-
relation
Sorry.
commerciale. Est-ce que c'est
There's border mention.
I can't keep track of this French translation
Can we
stuff.
expect a second wave of tariffs?
Quand on va regarder différentes
First,
façons
what's
de
important
répondre,
when we look at various ways to respond to put even more pressure on the Americans to pull back on these measures to make sure no region or industry in the country will carry a bigger burden than other regions. We know that certain industries, for example, the gas and oil, that have a major impact in the U.S.
He's taking all his questions in French, which is weird for considering this is like
will help the
and nothing against French, but considering this is a
region or part of the country that pays
they're taking this quite seriously. I figure he'd sneak a couple in English just to keep the English people happy, but
Can we expect a second wave?
sur l'enjeu.
it's all French. It's
On
weird.
the issue of
Une deuxième vague de
a second wave
dans le décret, il n'est pas question de la relation commerciale.
tariffs, because in the decree there's no mention of trade.
Ces tarifs d'aujourd'hui
Oh, today's
ont créé
tariffs
la
were
préoccupation du
anchored
président sur le fentanyl. L'arrivée
in
BS.
Trump's focus on fentanyl. So the reality is Canada represents a
font face.
tiny problem, a part of the problem America's face, and we'll work with them to fix this problem in our communities like theirs. At the same time,
Like, why is this guy even here still? Like, he says, "Oh, I'm quitting,"
trade relations that's ongoing in the
and then there's no parliament, there's no election, and he's standing here talking, taking a lead on Team Canada. This makes no sense.
Actions we might take in terms of responding to the American trade action. There are a number of different industries and regions of the country that can have greater leverage over the United States. One thinks of the oil industry, for example. What is extremely important for me, and I think for all the premiers, is that no one region of the country or one industry carries a larger burden than anyone else in standing up for Canada. We need to all be in this together. This only works if Canadians are fully united from coast to coast to coast to stand
Heard
up
this
for
before.
this extraordinary and beautiful country. And that's why, as we look at different measures, including non-tariff measures that we might move forward on, we will not be moving forward on issues that further divide the country, which is why we're working with all premiers to look at different ways we can encourage the Americans to step back from these trade actions.
Bonjour, Christian Noël de Radio-Canada. Pour être clair,
Another French one.
Clear on that question. Tariffs on gas and natural gas is 10%, but the rest is 25%, namely because the U.S. needs our oil and all kinds of things from our energy resources. At what point will you be ready to shut off the tap? First, I'd like to emphasize that yes, Americans need our gas and our oil and our critical minerals. They also need our auto parts, our farm produce, our lumber.
It's all French.
There's so many things that Canada produces
It's not an accident.
that we sell to at very good prices, responsible prices to the Americans, and they depend on this for their economic well-being. Tariffs, 25% tariffs on everything Canada produces, that's going to harm American consumers and producers. We expect to see
I can't believe I'm listening to him.
major challenge
I feel like I have to, though.
automobile industry in the United States, where parts from Canada and Mexico are an essential part of what they're doing. So we'll be there to look at and encourage Americans to pull back on these tariffs, and we'll use all the tools we have. To be very clear, we do not want to be in this situation. That's the choice of the Americans to put us in this situation, and now that we're here, we will respond responsibly and strongly. In a hockey game tonight in Ottawa during the American anthem, there were some fans that booed.
This is like a French press conference. It's like he's doing this on purpose so the Americans won't watch.
A very long history with the Americans. We have a unique partnership, but there's always been moments of tension and differences between our two countries. And these times are deeply felt because we're so close as neighbors and friends and family. And it could hurt as we go through these times. But I have faith. I have faith in Canadians, but especially I also have faith in the American people who understand just how their big struggle in the world is not Canada. And by working together, we can get through these hurtful periods to come out even stronger.
Oh, I can't listen to him much.
I think Canadians don't really understand exactly why Americans are targeting their best friend and closest partner.
Because of you, maybe.
I think Canadians are a little perplexed.
We're not perplexed. I'm not perplexed at all. You just ran the country into the ground.
Instead of so many other challenging parts of the world.
No responsibility, this guy.
There's a lot of Americans who wake up in the morning saying, "Oh, damn Canada. Oh, we should really go after Canada." We're there as friends, as partners.
They're going after you.
We always have been.
You destroyed this country.
Sure, we're going through a difficult time right now, and yeah, emotions may run high here and there, particularly around hockey games. But I know we're going to make it through this, because we have the most successful partnership the world has ever seen, and it's a true value in this time of really challenging geopolitical instability.
Gillian Piper with Global News. Prime Minister, will you recall Parliament to pass a bill to help Canadian workers and end prorogation?
As you can see from our a strong response package.
Oh, who needs Parliament?
About with premiers this afternoon and have for many weeks.
Who needs that pesky
we have the
Parliament?
tools to be able to support Canadians through this challenging time as it stands. This is a moment for Canadians to pull together, including
Parliament's not.
Canadians
needs
of all
it?
different political parties. This is a moment where we need to set aside our differences and focus on delivering for Canadians, standing up for Canadians, and protecting the most successful political, military, economic, and security partnership the world has ever seen. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We have the tools to do it.
Why is he even here, man?
Doing it
Why is he
alongside,
talking?
Our premiers and our partners.
A member of the Canada-U.S. Council, Lana Payne, today said that an ally would not act this way, and therefore the U.S. is no longer Canada's ally. Do you agree with that?
Like I said, I think there are going to be people who are upset and even hurt by what's gone on here. But I have faith. I have faith in Canadians, but I also have faith in the friendship between Canada and the United States. It has gone through challenging times before, but we always make it through because we've been able to count on each other for over 150 years, and we will continue to be able to do that long into the future. This is a friendship that has stood the test of time, and despite challenges that we can work on and we will work on together.
What's this we business? You were supposed to be out the door.
Prime Minister, you said earlier that you're not going to move forward on measures that would further divide the country. Does this mean that blocking energy exports is fully off the table?
It means that any conversations around further measures, particularly involving one industry or one region of the country more than another, is something that we're going to do carefully and thoughtfully and with the full partnership of regional leaders, provincial premiers, businesses. No one part of the country should be carrying a heavier burden than any other. We're in this together. We're all going to stand together, and we'll be there for each other from coast to coast to coast.
And President Trump said in the executive order that it's about the border and fentanyl. Do you think that this is what it's about?
This is what I heard. They were reporting today, they think.
One of the strongest, more secure borders in the world between Canada and the United States. As I said, less than 1% of fentanyl going into the United States come from Canada. Less than 1% of illegal migrants going into the United States come from Canada. That doesn't mean there isn't more to do. And that's why we've invested $1.3 billion in strengthening our borders. And we're seeing over the past number of weeks, past couple of months, the numbers significantly decrease at the border already. We are making progress in working together, including sending joint teams over to China to talk about the precursor chemicals that get developed into fentanyl all across North America. There are things that we can and must do together, and I understand.
So he doesn't want to do Parliament. He doesn't want an election.
Has with fentanyl deaths, we share those preoccupations. We've seen far
Pesky.
too many
Who needs that pesky Parliament?
across our country devastated by toxic drug supplies, by fentanyl, by opioid addictions. We have taken action over the years, but we're happy to do even more with the United States to counteract this horrific tragedy. That's why we have committed to doing even more.
They were reporting, CBC was reporting today that the Trudeau circle thinks Trump's actually trying to take Canada over. It's not about fentanyl or the border.
Work together to save lives.
So he's not answering the question. They're trying to.
The National Post. What does it tell you about your relationship with President Trump that you've been trying to get a hold of him and he hasn't been speaking with you?
You're ghosted. Ghosted.
I think this is a time where we've all remarked on just how active President Trump has been in engaging with a wide range of topics in his
He's ghosting you.
office.
He's blocked your number.
No, I've had many good and substantive conversations with President Trump over the past months, where we've highlighted the work that we can do. Our ministers and officials have been engaging, in many cases like today, multiple times a day with their counterparts to talk through these issues, to move forward on areas of mutual concern. We will continue to engage, and I will continue to be there to work with President Trump as we've worked together in the past. We've worked together to solve some pretty challenging issues over the years. I look forward to doing that again.
In French?
Je pense qu'on peut souligner à quel point
We can emphasize just
le président est extrêmement actif.
how the president, to what extent he's very active with many different issues on the table.
J'ai eu beaucoup de conversations avec lui.
Several months ago, I had several conversations with him on the issues we're discussing today, and he knows our positions, and at the same time, our ministers are extremely active, engaging with their American counterparts.
Aujourd'hui,
Spoke with many of them today to underline the work that we could be doing.
I can't watch much more of this.
The president and I have
I don't think he's going to say anything more of it.
major issues in the past, and I look forward to doing it.
A day as consequential as this, when it really matters, can Canada have a productive relationship with President Trump and the Trump administration moving forward?
As I've said, we have had a very effective and constructive series of conversations throughout the American administration. We'll continue to. I look forward to speaking with President Trump in the coming days and weeks.
Weeks. Oh my God.
Matters, but we've solved big issues before, and we will solve them
So,
again.
let me get this straight. We got about 4 or 5 weeks until the leadership
When did you first
race.
learn that President Trump intends to increase tariffs if Canada retaliates, and how has that changed your strategy?
I think Canadians understand that we need to respond to this. We need to respond in a way that is appropriate, that is measured but forceful, and that meets the moment. We're certainly not looking to escalate, but we will stand up for Canada, for Canadians, for Canadian jobs. We will also continue to do more together with the United States to counteract the scourge.
All right, we heard this all before. Oh my God.
Continue to work on growing our economies together and creating jobs and competing with the rise.
He really is. The one thing he's good at is talking and not saying a goddamn thing.
And that is my focus. My job is to stand up for Canadians. That's exactly what we're doing. But we're also standing up for the relationship between Canada and the United States, which, as I've said, is the most successful partnership and friendship the world has ever seen.
You're dealing with the U.S. administration that says, there's nothing that you can do to stop this. We're not looking for any concessions. So do you see any conceivable way out of this because of that?
The coming weeks will be difficult for Canadians, and they'll be difficult for Americans. The level of cooperation, the level of effective partnerships between our two countries that have been established
Okay, I
over
can't.
decades
All right.
and generations means that this trade action by the Americans and our response is going to have real consequences for people, for workers on both sides of our border. We don't want to be here. We didn't ask for this. But we will not back down
Oh God.
in standing up both for Canadians and for the incredible, successful relationship and partnership between Canada and the United States. I look forward to working with the American administration on a range of challenging issues that our communities and our world is facing,
I can't watch this.
and I hope that day comes soon. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, that's it.
Today's press conference, ça conclut la conférence de presse aujourd'hui. Merci.
He,
That is Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, surrounded by 3 of his cabinet ministers, making a very significant announcement. It's 9:45 Eastern here in the nation's capital. The Prime Minister says that as a response to the tariffs that Donald Trump has pledged to
So, it'll be fun to watch the response the states will have, because they said if we do something, like if we do our own tariffs, he'll escalate his tariffs. So now the ball's in your court, Donald. It's going to be interesting how it all plays out. I wouldn't hit the panic button just yet, but if we see tanks over the Blue Water Bridge, then maybe at the one say, hey man, what's going on here? It's crazy. It's crazy. But obviously, I have to keep saying this. I support Canada. I love my country, but I've been saying for years how incompetent our provincial government is. Like, even before Doug Ford, they were a bunch of corrupt, incompetent, bureaucratic hacks. And at the federal level, like, you could probably do an Elon and get rid of 70% of them, 80%, and you wouldn't even notice. Like, there's probably so much waste, it's not even funny. So I'm not going to jump in the same team with these guys that demonize me and tell me how you can think and whatever. No, you got to jump on Team Canada. Well, there's a Team Canada Squad A and there's a Team Canada Squad B. So maybe it's a different squad. So it should be interesting to see the next few days how the Canadian dollar will do. All that bonds and all that stuff. But it'll be crazy how far it'll go. Like, they're doing stuff like booing at the. They mentioned that in the thing. I wonder if we have it. Okay, where am I looking here? Doug Ford, basically, he's running an unnecessary election campaign. Posted his response, calling Trump selfish. This is not a smart move, it's selfish. Doug Ford speaks in anticipation of Trump's reckless tariffs. So, this guy, Doug Ford, I'm on the same team as this guy. I'm sorry, but I'm not. Nowhere near. He's going to lead us down a ruin. Like, he's destroyed Ontario throughout these years. So many different avenues. We can talk about it all day. On every metric, he's failed this province. But the alternatives, I guess, are so much worse that he still maintains a comfortable lead in the polls. That's because it's because people are so disgusted even more with the opposition than are with him. So whatever. And he's basically based his whole provincial campaign on fighting Donald Trump. Oh, well, like I said yesterday, we got 27 days of listening to him attack Donald Trump and see where that's going to get Ontario. You know, Donald Trump could shut down the auto industry in Ontario overnight. Like, a lot of cars are shipped over to the U.S. that are made in Canada. I'm sure there's some are sold here, but a lot go over there. And he's hinted that we don't need to make cars in Canada. So, and he'd love those factories to go to Detroit or Michigan or whatever. Those Ontario that are all over Ontario. He would love to see that. Why not? That's what a leader does. They try to get their people the best deal. And look at what he's done with the trucking industry in Ontario. It's corrupt. This guy in the background is the trucking minister, transport minister. With the traffic, with crime, he's going to protect us. In Ontario, he's going to protect us from what? Home invasion, carjacking, human trafficking, violent criminals on indictable offenses. For them to get booked, charged, and go to court takes years. And then usually they just plea it out, or they get, released on it's taken too long or whatever. So a lot of these guys are out on the street while they're tied up in the court system and on multiple offenses. So he's going to protect Ontario from Donald Trump when our court system is literally falling apart. I've heard court people talk about it. I've heard, so he's failed on that. He's failed. Like, do people feel safer in Ontario because Doug Ford? No. They feel less safe. So it's kind of, for me, it's disgusting that he's running a political campaign based on him protecting us from Donald Trump. It's like, somebody should be protecting us from you, man. I don't want this fat pig protecting me. He's brought more harm to this province. And he has the nerve to say, protect Ontario. Oh. Let's see what he says about Trump here. Look, he thinks he's being tough here. Well, he won't be tough when there's no auto industry in Ontario. He's been at the hip with Trudeau from the start. Who knows what they got on this clown? Justified, unfair, and frankly illegal. Oh, he's on CNN tonight, I forgot. And he said, breaking the trade deal with Canada is disappointing. So he's saying this on American TV. Anyway. He's been on American TV a lot, Doug Ford. Apparently nobody's listening to him. Alright. Really just garbage to say that he's going to protect Ontario. He's announcing billions of dollars to widen the QEW as a response. What a guy. This is the guy. He's gonna protect us. And then we got Mark Carney, who's acting like the patriotic Canadian guy. Probably hasn't lived here for 20 years or whatever. Let's see what he said.
President Trump thinks Canada will cave in. We will never, ever bow down to a bully. Canadians will always stick together. And we won't stand by as tariffs hurt our workers and their families.
We're going to give everybody
Canadians
a UBI.
need to remain united. Now, let me be clear. This situation, unfortunately, could not be more serious. And at times like these, we need serious leadership and a serious plan.
Oh.
I'm ready to stand up for Canada. Who's with me?
Whoa. I know that was a dig at Pierre about serious leadership, but I can't help but think he was talking about Trudeau too. He's like coming into clean Trudeau's total mess. They love this guy, the Liberals. This is their new savior. Oh, God. Let's see what he said. The following statement was issued by Mark Carney. Okay. Clear violation of our trade agreement. Okay. He's in regular contact with foreign minister. Let me meet with him. So he's calling Trump a bully. That's interesting language. We won't stand by these illegal U.S. tariffs hurt our workers and their families. As Canadians, we need to face this challenge as one united team. Yeah. We're united all right now. All of a sudden, we're united. All of a sudden, we're united. I wonder if we could do a dark mode here. I can't. Anyway. Okay. We're united now. We weren't united before when we're trying to... I'm not... I wasn't vaccinated, so they tried, but we weren't united then. He supports dollar for dollar retaliatory tariffs. Of course. So basically the same as Pierre. It's just funny, the wording. The boost investment and support our Canadian workers throughout will be a difficult moment. Support. That sounds like our UBI system that we're going to put in. They love their emergencies. They can put in all this crazy crap. Over the medium term, if we can no longer rely on American neighbors, we must diversify our trading relationships and build new sources. You know, they've been saying this for 30 years, 40 years. We got to diversify. Every time there's a spat with the Americans. Never happens, though. I remember so many times they said, we need to diversify and get trade deals with Europe, and it never happens. Wonder, weird. And that's all the time. So many things are moving so quick here. But, you know, it's interesting. It's not boring, that's for sure. But I don't think the sky's going to fall. Trump is trying to change the world system. He wants more factories, more shit made in the States. And he don't care if it's Canada or Mexico or China. It's going to happen he's going to do his best to make that happen. So we should be more tougher. We need to start making stuff that's good and not worry about what the States is going to do to us. But we dug our hole. We can dig our way out of it, hopefully. Please, hopefully. We had a lot of stuff to look over tonight, but this Trudeau press conference, I had to watch it because I didn't want to see it. You never know what he could say, something totally stupid. But it was like almost all in French, so it's like he didn't want the American audience to tune in. They get bored of the French after a little bit. And he was just very vapid. Vapid. Very vapid responses too. Like he wasn't really like. He wasn't giving us very specific answers. Just the same talking points. All right. Well, we'll keep tracking this. Begun the Tariff Wars have. Well, thanks. Hey, everybody have a nice Saturday night. I'll see you tomorrow. We haven't even heard from Pierre. We'll have to talk tomorrow about him.